I thought he said Cools. He did not. He said Newports. There was some paperwork that had the VIN of a few of my dad's cars and the family's cars that I hadn't seen in a very long time. And one of them was an 85 Cadillac Seville. Another one was my grandfather's last car, 91 Cadillac Brougham, and even a 1980 Bronco. And I had the VINs for all of these vehicles. And I went to someone in government that ran all the VINs and said, oh, the Cadillac's been totaled. The Fleetwood hasn't been registered since 1994. And the one that still existed, to my surprise, was the BMW, the 1993 750 IL. And my father got the car brand new in Chicago. So I was a child when he still had it. I never had driven it. I've always been in the passenger seat. I remember it brand new. I remember the smell of it. I remember everything. So I got the owner's address, and it was on the west side of Chicago. And I simply went there unannounced at 9:20 at night on the west side of Chicago, which is called K-Town, certain places. So I go there looking like this and knocked on the door, and I had the person's wife answer the door. And I said, is there a Levester here? Yes. I'm like, does he have a silver BMW? Yes, he does. I'm like, can he talk to me for a second? Oh, I'll get him for you. He's a lot older than my father, when my father would have been. The guy is 87 years old. And the car had been sitting in the garage for about 4 years. Had not been registered in 4 years. However, he did state that he did start it every month. So all the fluids and everything were moving as they should. The car was stuck in limp mode though, so which is why he never really drove it. So I went to the back, the door opens, and I see the car I hadn't seen in almost 20 years. And I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, because my father had passed 5.5 years ago. That's him. That's his car. Even down to the chip on the driver's quarter panel from when I accidentally knocked over my bicycle on the car when I was a kid. The little yellow paint mark was still there. And I pointed out to him. I said, Levester, I did this when I was a little boy, and it's still there. We tried to start it. Me and my buddy, Bojangles, pulled up in a ex-police car, Crown Victoria. We're trying to start the car, and he was originally coming over because I thought I was gonna say hello, see the car, and then leave, and I was gonna work on his car because he had an antifreeze leak. That wasn't the case. We were there for probably about an hour and a half, and I'm talking to him and seeing everything of this vehicle. We couldn't get it started because he had the wrong battery on it. It was too small. So I said, can you get another battery and maybe we can check this out? 2 days went by, and I came back and I got the car started, and it didn't want to rev past 1100 RPM unless he started the car 3 times, which I didn't know was a BMW thing. I mean, there's old car things and there's BMW things. This was a BMW thing. He got it started, and then I said, what's it going to take to purchase this car? He's like, oh, I don't want to sell it. I'm like, okay. Well, this was my dad's car, and it really kind of means something to him. He's like, oh. He's like, I thought this was like something your dad had. I said, no, this was my dad's car. It took him about a day to comprehend what I was trying to say to him. And he's like, how'd you find me? How'd you find this car? I said, like I said to you 2 days ago, I found the VIN and I found you. And then for about a minute, he was a little shocked. He's like, that's how you found me? I'm like, yes. We're talking a little bit more. I was fully aware at the time too that there was a lien on the title, which I did not tell him about. He's like, so it's like, what should I sell it to you for? I said, well, given the circumstances, if I was you, I would just give it to me. Give it to you? I'm like, I would do that. If someone came across a vehicle of mine that belonged to their father and I wasn't using it, but that's just me, but I don't think like most people. So that's just how I would do it. And he's like, well, let's be in touch. This car's been sitting here for 4 years. It's not going anywhere. It was almost like the film Gran Torino. He didn't even want to sell the car to his kid. He actually literally said, like, I don't even want to give this to my kid. He was really like that attached to it. Time went on. I did some research on the value of this car, which I found is extremely rare, at least in America. I think altogether too, especially 30 years later. There's only 1,312 of them ever made in a 750 IL. Now, there's a lot more 740s. This is all new to me because, I like square body Chevys and Panther bodies. That was my world. But an E32, E30, this is all new to me. And I'm just learning as I go along. And I saw the value of these cars was quite different. Some would go for $1,500. Some would go for $12,000. Depending on condition, obviously. But even top-level condition ones were only at like $12,000, $14,000. Over time, I was like, how am I going to get this vehicle with being a musician? And we can't play right now because of lockdown. This was last year, 2020. So I was like, why don't I just play guitar for donations? And I could raise the money to purchase the car this way. It actually made me a better musician too, because I would take requests. I wouldn't just say, here's a list of 50 songs, tell me what to play. I would say, tell me anything, shoot me anything, and I will do it. And I did, and I learned stuff that I've never played before. I raised about $2,500. He kept calling me asking how much were cigarettes in Rockford. Because I was residing in Rockford at the time. And I said, they're not much better. I can go to Wisconsin for you if you want. So I called him up and I said, Levester, what if I give you $2,000 and 3 cartons of cigarettes for the car? And then he said, I need more than that. I was like, well, that's I can give you $2,500. And at that point I was maxed out. And he's like, all right, you come over with the cigarettes. I'm like, okay. So we went over with $2,500 cash, 3 cartons of Cools. And I thought he said Cools. He did not. He said Newports. So I come over with the wrong cigarettes, but all the money, he counted the money, must have been like half a dozen times. And said, these are the wrong cigarettes. And so, yes, I am buying a car on the west side of Chicago for cash, 3 cartons of cigarettes with no title. So I brought that part up right about when we got there. I said, I ran this through Cyberdrive, Illinois, and found out that there's a lien on the title. He's like, oh, I know about that. I'm like, do you? Okay, so what are we gonna... He's like, oh, that's been cleared up. Because I looked it up and the lien went towards the same name. However, I knew that he had a son by Junior. So what I think happened, I can't confirm it. What I think happened was his son probably grabbed the title and went to a title loan place and cashed in the title and didn't tell his father. I can't confirm or deny it, but it didn't sound like a pleasant experience because he didn't really want to talk about that part. We went to go get the car with the wrong cigarettes and try to pull it out, and this was in the wintertime. There was a bunch of snow. We couldn't get the car out. He wanted to drive his Chrysler back there to open the garage, which he didn't have to do. His car gets stuck. We end up pulling his car out, and I had to come back another day. And I left. And I left my money. I left the cigarettes. And so many people said to me, like, you left $2,500 and 3 cartons of cigarettes with somebody you met once on the west side of Chicago without a title? I said, yes. It's like, you are stupid. I said, I know I'm stupid, but I'm okay with this guy. It's like, no, he's going to take advantage of you. It was like, no, here's the thing, is that my father was older when he had me. My dad was not a boomer. My dad was part of the silent generation. And I've always got along better with older people, I guess maybe for that very reason. And this guy was also part of the silent generation. He was born in 1934. I am actually not concerned. I've never had a bad experience with anybody from that time. We decided to come back. There's literally some good old boys that came with me with a truck with a plow on the front and a trailer with a winch. And they're like, we're getting this car tonight. And it's like, well, hopefully the snow isn't too bad. It's like, no, we're getting it. What type of door is it? Is it tin or is it wood? I was like, let's not go this far. So we get there. One of them has a revoked driver's license. He gets in the truck. They dump the trailer at the other end of the alley. They're running the plow through the snow to get the car out. These guys a lot of times will pull out cars that have been in the same place for 20, 30 years, and they'll scrap them sometimes or part them out. So a car in a garage is absolutely nothing to them. So the car comes out, we pull it out, it doesn't want to rev too high. It blows 3 tires on its way up on the trailer. The tires were teenagers. We pull up the car, and when the car was being pulled, I was like looking at it. Like, I was in the second row of the pickup truck, and I just see this Beamer going down the road for the first time. Like, I never seen it from the front, obviously, but it was kind of a depressing sight because the car is going down the road. There's nobody in the driver's seat. As you know, you're looking at a car being trailered. You look behind, the headlights are off, the car essentially is dead because it's turned off. And in term, I mean, you could say that the car was a garage ghost because there's barn finds, and I found out this other term, garage ghost, a car that's been sitting in the garage for a long time. And the way I saw it is with my father not being around anymore, this definitely fit the category. As soon as I got home, I actually cried immediately, and I didn't know if it was joy or sorrow or both at the same time, one in each eye, who knows. But that's exactly what happened. And I was like, wow, I actually purchased a BMW by playing music. And it was quite a feeling. I mean, it wasn't a brand new one at the beach road, but technically did I do it? Yes, I technically did. Every dollar to purchase the car came from strumming those strings.
We'd like to thank Patrick Adair Designs for their support of the VINwiki channel this month. Patrick and his team make some of the most amazing rings you've ever seen, including this one made out of carbon and the aluminum from one of the wheels of my LP640. They've just released a new automotive themed ring with carbon fiber and anodized titanium. It's a super cool looking thing, and whether you're looking for a wedding band or just a fashion ring or whatever you want a ring for, he has some amazing options. You can use the code VINwiki for a discount, so check them out now at the link in the description below and thank them for their support of VINwiki.